For 290,000 years, no human ever slept alone, not once. Sleeping in a room by yourself behind a locked door would have seemed like an elaborate form of suicide. And it was. But you did it last night, and the night before that, and every night for as long as you can remember, and your body has been trying to tell you something is wrong this entire time. You wake up at 3 a.m., you stare at the ceiling, you feel broken, you Google insomnia cures, you buy melatonin, you get a sleep tracker, none of it works. Here is what nobody told you. Your insomnia is not a disorder. It is the ghost of a 290,000-year-old sleep pattern that we forced into extinction 150 years ago. This is the old human. We have explored how ancient humans walked across continents and what they smoked around the fire. But after the smoke cleared and the embers died, they did something else we have completely forgotten. They slept. Not alone in locked rooms, in piles, tangled together, children in the warmest center, adults forming a protective ring, someone always awake. Why did ancient humans never sleep alone, and what happened when we started? If you have watched other videos about sleep, you have heard about blue light and sleep hygiene and circadian rhythms. This is not that video. This is about the social dimension of sleep that we completely erased, about why sleeping alone is the strangest thing humans have ever done, and about how the loneliness epidemic started, not with social media, but with the invention of the private bedroom, how humans slept before beds. The sleep pile, 5 to 30 people, direct physical contact, children in the warmest, safest center, protected on all sides by adult bodies, elders on the outer edges, still within the pile, but more exposed, and one person always naturally awake, not assigned, not forced, just the person whose sleep cycle happened to be in a lighter phase at that moment. This was human sleep for 290,000 years. Sleeping in a pile is not just emotionally comforting, it is thermodynamically brilliant. Shared body heat reduces the energy needed for temperature regulation by 30 to 40%. A group of sleeping humans creates a microclimate, warmer than the surrounding air, stable throughout the night, maintained entirely by the fact that mammals are warm and they are close together. Your ancestors slept warmer than you do, without central heating, without blankets, just each other, and the babies. For 290,000 years, no infant ever slept alone. Sleeping against its mother's body regulated the baby's breathing, heart rate, and body temperature. This was not attachment parenting. This was physics. The mother's body was the incubator. Separate nurseries, the idea that a baby should sleep in a different room, are so evolutionarily novel that some researchers believe they contribute to SIDS. Your baby's biology expects another body, and when it does not find one, something goes wrong. How fire changed humans. It created a circle of safety roughly 30 feet in diameter. Inside that circle, predators would not come. Outside that circle, you died. This is not an exaggeration. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherers have documented that people who wander away from the fire at night are significantly more likely to be killed by predators, even today. Fire was the original wall, the original lock, the original security system. Solitary sleep was a death sentence. The person who slept alone was the person who got eaten. This is not figurative. For millions of years before fire, primates climbed trees at sunset and stayed completely still until dawn. Moving at night meant becoming food. Ancient humans at night were prey. The group was the only defense, and the fire was the only thing that kept the group safe. Fire did not just protect humans, it gave them extra hours. Before fire, the useful day ended at sunset, 12 hours in summer, as few as 8 in winter. After fire, humans had light after dark for the first time in primate history. Hours that had been lost to darkness were suddenly available for tool making, for storytelling, for social bonding. Fire did not just keep humans alive at night. It made the night worth being alive for. Here is what almost nobody knows about how ancient humans slept. They did not sleep in one 8-hour block. Nobody did. Prehistoric sleep was biphasic. 2 sleeps, not 1. First sleep from about 9 in the evening until midnight. Then a waking period of 1 to 2 hours. Peaceful, natural, expected. Then second sleep until dawn. This was normal human biology for 99.95% of human history. The watch period, that gap between first and second sleep, was the most intimate, creative, and meditative time of the day. Quiet conversation with the other person who was also naturally awake, stargazing, tending the fire, thinking. There was no anxiety because there was no expectation that you should be asleep. This was not insomnia. This was a feature of human biology that we pathologized into a disorder. In the year 2000, historian Roger Ekirch published a paper called Sleep We Lost. He had found references to first sleep and second sleep in hundreds of historical documents, diaries, court records, medical texts, even literature. A 1932 translation of Homer's Odyssey mistranslated the Greek word for first sleep because the translator, living in the age of electric light, had never heard of it and assumed it was a poetic metaphor. It was not. It was a description of normal human biology. Pause for a moment. Every video about ancient sleep will tell you about biphasic patterns and Roger Ekirch. Almost none of them will tell you about the people who still sleep this way today. The Hadza, the San, the Tsimene. When scientists went in with sleep trackers, what they found completely overturned modern assumptions about how much sleep humans actually need. The Hadza in Tanzania, the San in Namibia, the Tsimene in Bolivia. These groups still live without electric light, without alarm clocks, without screens. They sleep in piles. They wake with the sun. Scientists assumed they would sleep longer than Westerners, maybe 9 or 10 hours of natural, unspoiled sleep. What they found was the opposite. Hunter-gatherers sleep less than you, 5.7 to 7.1 hours per night. Westerners average 7 to 9. But here is the part that changes everything. On every measure of sleep quality, deep sleep, sleep efficiency, morning refreshment, the hunter-gatherers score dramatically higher. They sleep less, but they sleep better, much better. Hours are not the measurement, quality is, and they are winning. And the most astonishing finding of all. In one study, researchers tracked exactly when every member of a group was asleep. They found that for only 18 minutes out of the entire night was every single person simultaneously unconscious. 18 minutes out of 8 hours. The rest of the time, someone was in lighter sleep. Someone was ready. The night watch was not assigned. It was written into human biology. Different people cycling through deep and light sleep at different times. Early human survival depended on this. The Hadza do not have a word for insomnia. Because they do not have insomnia, the waking period between sleeps is not a problem to them. It is a feature. They wake up at 2 in the morning and they do not panic. They do not check their phone. They do not worry about being tired tomorrow. They sit quietly. They tend the fire. They talk softly. And then, when their body is ready, they sleep again. The same physiological event. You wake up at 2 in the morning. Your ancestor woke up at 2 in the morning. The biology is identical. The interpretation is completely different. Your ancestor thought, this is normal, I will rest quietly and sleep again. You think, something is wrong with me. I have a sleep disorder. I need medication. The problem is not your body. The problem is the story you were told about how humans are supposed to sleep. 3 things destroyed ancient sleep. All in roughly 1 generation: private bedrooms, electric light, and the factory whistle. The Industrial Revolution did not just change how humans worked, it changed how humans slept, and we have been tired ever since. The private bedroom was invented as a status symbol. Rich Victorians could afford to sleep alone. It was a flex, proof that you were wealthy enough to waste space on isolation. Your ancestors would have recognized it immediately as a death wish. But status signals are powerful. Poor people copied rich people, and within 2 generations, the sleep pile was gone. Electric light destroyed the biphasic pattern. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, but even a simple incandescent bulb tells your brain the sun is still up. The peaceful waking period between sleeps became a problem to be solved. You checked your phone, your brain saw daylight, melatonin production stopped, and the second sleep, the one that was supposed to carry you to dawn, never came. And the factory whistle made biphasic sleep impossible. You had to be at work by 6 in the morning. You had to sleep in one consolidated block. Your body fought it, woke up at midnight ready for the watch period. Your boss did not care. You forced yourself back to sleep. And eventually, after a few exhausted generations, you forgot you had ever slept any other way. Your ancestors slept on the ground. Grass, hides. Sometimes a slight depression dug into the earth to cradle the hip. Firm, cool. The human spine evolved for this surface. The modern mattress, memory foam, pillow top, adjustable base, was designed for comfort. But comfort and good sleep are not the same thing. Your spine spent 300,000 years adapting to the ground. The mattress has been around for about 150 years. Your back notices the difference even if you do not. Your ancestors slept cool. Body temperature must drop by about 2 degrees Fahrenheit to enter deep sleep. They slept on the ground, in the open air, with only body heat for warmth. Modern bedrooms are too warm. Modern bedding is too insulating. You are literally overheating yourself out of deep sleep every night, and half of you bought heated blankets to make it worse. Here is the part that none of the other videos will tell you. Ancient humans did not just sleep differently, they slept together, physically together, every single night, for their entire lives. And when we stopped, when we put walls between our sleeping bodies, something broke that we have been unable to fix. This is not about sleep hygiene. This is about loneliness. Picture the sleep pile from above, bodies tangled together, breathing synchronized, hearts literally beating in shared rhythm. Every person touching at least 2 other people, oxytocin flooding the system, cortisol dropping. This was not just unconsciousness. This was 8 hours of continuous social bonding, every night for an entire lifetime. Your ancestors received more physical affection while they were asleep than most modern humans receive while they are awake. You are never more alone than when you are sleeping. Door locked, phone on the nightstand, no one touching you. The room silent except for your own breathing. Your ancestors were never less alone than when they were sleeping. The loneliness epidemic has many causes: social media, urban isolation, the collapse of community. But 8 hours of enforced solitude every single night is certainly one of them, and almost no one talks about it. You check your door locks 3 times before bed. You know the feeling, that nagging sense that something is not quite safe. Your ancient brain knows sleeping alone is wrong. It remembers the predators. It remembers the pile. It remembers that isolation at night meant death. So it sends you back to check the lock one more time. No amount of sleep hygiene advice will fix the fact that your body was designed to feel other bodies while it slept. We have built an $80 billion sleep industry. Sleeping pills, sleep trackers, sleep coaches, luxury mattresses, white noise machines, blackout curtains, weighted blankets, all of it trying to solve a problem that did not exist 150 years ago. Your ancestors slept perfectly without any of it. The entire industry exists because we broke something that worked, and instead of fixing the root cause, isolation, we invented products. Blue light glasses, melatonin gummies, sleep apps that track your REM cycles. None of it replaces the feeling of another human body next to yours. You can optimize every variable. You can spend thousands of dollars. You can follow every piece of sleep advice ever published. But if you are alone in the dark, your body knows, and it will not fully relax. It evolved not to. You cannot rebuild the sleep pile of 30 people, but you can recognize what was lost. The person who chooses to sleep next to someone they love, that person is not weak or dependent. They are connecting to the oldest human instinct, the one that says, "Do not sleep alone." Your ancestors knew this. It kept them alive for 300,000 years. You are beginning to remember. The ancient sleep scoreboard is remarkable. Safety, 10 out of 10. Warmth, 10. Social bonding, 10. Low stress, 10. Sleep quality, 10. Children's sleep, 10. Total, 60 out of 60. Prehistoric sleep was a complete system, and every part of it worked together perfectly. The modern sleep scoreboard is a warning. Safety, 10 because we traded predators for locks. Warmth, 8. Social bonding, 0. Stress, 2, and that is a failing grade. Sleep quality, 4. Children's sleep, 3. Total, 27 out of 60. We traded safety from predators for isolation from each other, and the math says we lost more than we gained. Your ancestors slept pressed against 15 other warm bodies every night of their lives. You and your partner have a king-size bed, 6 feet wide, and you both stay on your respective edges like there is an invisible wall down the middle. Evolution is watching this. It is very confused, and it would like to have a word about the personal space issues. You have optimized every variable of your sleep environment. The perfect mattress, the perfect temperature, the perfect darkness, the perfect white noise. Your ancestors slept on dirt with a rock for a pillow, in a pile of people who had not bathed in weeks, and they slept better than you. The difference is not technology, it is proximity to other humans, and until you understand that, no amount of optimization will fix your sleep. Let us update the chalkboard. 3 episodes, travel, smoking, and now, sleep. The ancient human body is beginning to take shape. 5 more episodes to complete the picture. In the Museum of Lost Human Sleep, the sleep pile cross-section labeled the 30-person bed, the biphasic clock labeled 2 sleeps, not 1, the watch period scene labeled the most peaceful hour, the Hadza data labeled better sleep with fewer hours, the Victorian bedroom labeled when everything changed. These are not historical curiosities. These are instructions for how to sleep, and we threw them away. There is a frame in the museum that shows the empty space in a modern bed, the negative shape where other sleeping humans used to be. The sleep pile is gone, but the need it met is still there. Every night, when you wake up at 3 in the morning, your body is remembering what your mind has forgotten. The old human teaches us 3 things about sleep. 1. Waking up at night is not a disorder. It is a 290,000-year-old sleep pattern. Your body is doing exactly what it evolved to do. Stop fighting it. Stop medicating it. Let yourself wake up, rest quietly, and sleep again when your body is ready. 2. You were never meant to sleep alone. Your body expects the warmth, the breathing, the heartbeat of other humans while it sleeps. You cannot always have that, but you can stop believing that needing it makes you weak. It makes you human. It always has. 3. The loneliness epidemic is partially a sleep epidemic. 8 hours of enforced isolation every night for years, for decades. Your ancestors never experienced that, and we are only beginning to understand what it has done to us. You cannot fix loneliness with a better mattress. You fix it the way humans always have, with other humans. Next time on The Old Human, ancient humans slept in piles for warmth and safety, but what kept them awake was not anxiety or notifications. It was hunger, real, gnawing. I have not eaten in 3 days hunger. Their bodies were designed to handle it. Yours panics when you skip breakfast. How did ancient humans handle hunger? They slept together. They woke together. They faced the dark together. But hunger was the constant companion, the empty stomach that drove them across continents in search of food. Next time, the feast and famine cycle that built the human body, and why your relationship with food is completely broken compared to theirs. If you made it this far, you now know that your ancestors never slept alone. They slept in piles. They slept in 2 shifts. They had a peaceful waking period in the middle of the night, and they never had insomnia. Subscribe. This is The Old Human. Tonight when you go to bed, and tomorrow night when you wake up at 3 in the morning, remember you are not broken. You are remembering something ancient. Your body knows how to sleep. It always has. We just forgot how to listen. They slept together, they dreamed together, they woke together, they faced the dark together, and they did it for 290,000 years before we decided we knew better. We did not.